what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box?
You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Freehan is beating his net at the plate. Crawford is over there watching. Good see, sir. You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Hey, how's everyone doing out there? Welcome to a Word Home Media presentation of Enemy of My Enemy. I am Bragging Rights Pete.
He is Pete. I'm Ryan. I am a Cubs fan since the late 1900s. Pete is a lifelong, diehard White Sox fan. So we basically hate each other's teams, especially this weekend. But there's one thing we can agree upon. It's that Green Bay sucks.
Oh, God. Why did that happen again? Well, we'll get to that. That just grinds my gears, but we'll get to that.
We are Enemy of My Enemy. This is episode number 188. We're calling it the Bragging Rights episode. Not since 2008 have the White Sox and Cubs entered the Crosstown Classic Series with both teams with records over 500.
Holy
which is just
shit.
Crazy. They were in 2020, but I'm not counting that. I don't think many do. So yeah, that was 2008 was still 2-3 years before we even started the blog, let alone this podcast. So
that's
how
fucked
fucking long
up.
ago it was.
Holy shit.
We've never had this to talk about, except maybe briefly in 2020.
Yeah. I thought it was like back then, like I heard the stat during one of the games, but like I couldn't recall it. But before we get started, I just want to say that I'm in a very celebratory mood.
Yeah, with good reason.
You hear that? That's a celebratory beer being cracked right there, everybody.
That's a great sound. What are you drinking over there?
Oh, I'm drinking the Champagne beers, of course, Miller High Life.
Okay.
In a Sox koozie, so I'm supporting Miller, Wisconsin Brewers.
Nobody cares about the Brewers. We're dedicating this show to the White Sox and Cubs as they provided us incredible entertainment over the weekend. Sox edging out the Cubs in Game 3 to take the series 2-1. Congratulations to you. You own bragging rights on this podcast. How do you feel over there?
I am in a very celebratory mood. I am wow.
You just told me a second ago that you were thinking about calling an emergency podcast the moment Carroll's home run went over the fence on Sunday.
I mean,
you are fired up.
I was, part of it was my I know we're going to do this in order, but I'll just throw this in.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. My daughter's 12th birthday, so family was over. Everyone was in the basement on the edge of their fucking seats. The Cubs had just taken the lead.
Now, Charlie was vacillating between being a Cubs fan and being a Sox fan. Is that's gone back to the Sox side, I'm guessing?
Yeah. There's a heavy influence from his father. So
imagine that.
Yeah.
Margot is fired up about the Sox too.
Yeah, Margot's fired up about the Sox. She loves going to games and watching the Sox, which isn't always like watching the Sox on TV. That's you have to really be 100% bleeding baseball to watch it on TV. There's people who just like to go to the games. She's more of a games person than sitting. She'll watch games on TV, but she gets bored after a little bit.
Well, she's 12, so I get that. But you almost had to postpone her birthday, or at least delay her birthday party.
I almost said dinner is delayed. I have to do an emergency podcast. Fuck the pizza. We're doing a podcast because the unthinkable just happened.
I'm not sure if it's unthinkable, but
having no home runs and batting like $157 at that point, that was pretty fucking unthinkable for me.
We'll get to that, but. Yeah, I mean, if we want to go chronologically, earlier in the week at least, I could tell you guys were so hyped because a White Sox fan jumped and fell into the Royals bullpen at Sox Park on Wednesday and had to be taken to the hospital. I was worried it was you. I had to text you right away.
You did. Okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I
never know when you go to games. You go to games like impromptu all the time, so I never know if it's you. And the weird thing, it's been reported the guy's fine. He was maybe hospitalized for, I don't know if it was for multiple days, but he definitely went to the hospital. But the weird thing is, it was in the third inning on a Wednesday game against Kansas City, and the guy jumped up to celebrate a Chaffe's marriage trough sacrifice fly.
I mean,
it wasn't like he was diving for a home run ball. It was a sac fly that he was going nuts for. So I'm like, man, you guys are fired up right now.
I mean, that was a
little overexcited.
That was the 5th straight win at that point.
Yeah.
It took the Cubs to ruin a complete streak, but
yeah, we saw something similar to that, much more dangerous in Pittsburgh last year, I think.
Oh my God, that was horrific. That kid who got overserved.
Well, he was overserved, but it kind of made sense, a little bit of sense. He was jumping up to celebrate a home run that was put the Pirates up or tied or whatever, but he got overzealous, jumped up too high, and went right over the railing. So I thought it might be a similar situation to what happened on Wednesday in Sox Park, but still, it's just a sac fly, buddy. Like, let's take it easy.
Hey, fortunately, he's okay. We got the run. We got the run, baby.
But that was kind of a harbinger of things to come. Like, as things built up, as both teams were over 500, as we mentioned, for the first time since 2008. There was a lot of hype going into that series, and it was well deserved. Friday, game 1, Ed Cabrera. I'm calling him Ed Cabrera, Cubs pitcher.
Eddie. I like Eddie.
Eddie? Yeah, I like that. He was doing fine until he just started walking everybody in the 5th inning. I think he had 3 walks. You guys ended up tying it up because anytime you fucking lead off with 2 walks, those 2 walks will always score. After that, the Cubs just feasted on your bullpen, which is going to kind of be a theme of this series on both sides, feasting on bullpens. Cubs ended up getting 14 hits, winning the game 10-5. Just an incredible atmosphere the whole game. It felt like a playoff game. Packed park. I heard all 3 games eventually sold out. There's 116,000 people visited Sox Park over the weekend. Just a crazy cool atmosphere that reminds people what an awesome baseball town Chicago is. I don't give a fuck what they say about New York. I think Chicago is the best baseball town in America. And it really showed when both teams are good and there's a lot on the line. Or a lot more than usual is on the line, other than bragging rights. I mean, it was a tight game until late. So you were pretty busy this weekend. Did you get to see all the innings of all the games, or were there games?
I basically saw. So there was an internet issue on Friday night, which was the main reason I was mainly silent. But I thought I'd save that information for the podcast. As Smitty, of course, assumed I was silent because the Sox had lost.
I was silent because you were sending me so much shit the next day via text, and I hadn't heard a peep from you the night before.
Yeah, yes. So there was an internet issue. I really only saw the game via like phone updates and shit. But we were back on track on Saturday and Sunday. So Friday. I guess I guess the internet picked the right game to be out on.
Yeah, that's convenient. I didn't even have to see that shit.
Yeah, I saw them tie it up. Like I got the alerts. Like it was 4-3 in the 5th, and then they tied it up in the bottom of the 6th. I think it was a solo home run by Vargas, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. There were so many home runs.
He had a lot of home runs this weekend. Yeah, he had a good weekend.
But I think I thought Sean Burke was going to do a little bit better, but he had, 4 runs. But after the first 2 guys came out of the bullpen, it looked like Hudson just completely shit the bed. And then even worse, Jordan Hicks let up like 4 earned runs. And that was the dagger.
Boog Shambi, the Cubs broadcaster on Marquee Network, made my obligatory Sean Burke 1990s New Jersey Devils goalie joke.
Oh, he did? Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jim DeShays even understood it. I'm not sure many people understand it, but I thought it was funny. He was making the same joke. Same lame joke I've been making.
No, I mean, we're kind of a big thing. People just don't give us any credit.
The 10 runs the Cubs scored doubled what they had scored in the previous week. As their offense is actually just ground to a halt until this weekend. But that's only their second win in 8 games. That would be their last until hopefully tonight.
Well, we know we know the next sweep is about to happen against them. So.
Oh yeah, now we're predicting a sweep again.
Yeah,
great.
Well, now I'm on the air. I'm on the air to do it this time.
Didn't see that coming. So yeah, the Cubs were really struggling coming into the game. So scoring 10 runs was very nice to see. I think clearly the weather has made a difference, and especially at Sox Park. When it heats up, the ball flies. Although the Cubs didn't hit any home runs that night. It was just all base hit after base hit after
that's true.
Base hit. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I felt pretty good after game one. Got that. Made sure you couldn't give your sweep prediction, which you already have for the next series. So killed that early, so that's always nice. Going into Saturday. I thought maybe you were at that game for some reason, but I was incorrect.
No, I was working and then
okay.
Motoring back to the kids, and got home just in time to catch the start of the game, and kind of went how I thought it would go. Like if I was thinking. Like seriously, if I was thinking there was a game the Sox would win, it was the Davis Martin game.
Davis Martin versus Jameson Taillon is a drastic advantage for you guys, considering Davis Martin is like he's got to be we mentioned it last time. He's got to be a front runner for AL Cy Young right now, and he pitched every bit of that against the Cubs, even though the conditions weren't certainly favorable to pitching that night, but he took care of business.
Yeah, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. He led up the homer. Was it a solo shot to? Was that Bush again, or I don't remember that night.
Yeah, I didn't write down every single home run. There was a lot.
Oh, Amaya, that's right. In the first inning, it was in the first inning too. So it was like, it was in the 6th inning.
That's all right.
God damn it, I can't remember.
Does not really matter.
Nothing mattered after yesterday, but go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the way that the Cubs feasted on the Sox bullpen in game one, you guys feasted on Jameson Taillon, who went into the game giving up the second most home runs in the majors. That ballooned from 11 to 16 in one outing as he gave up 5 home runs. And is now the major league leader in home runs given up. That was just a bad matchup. Taillon is prone to that throughout his career, and that ballpark looked tiny that night, especially. Your boy Mooney Murakami had 2 home runs, getting back off the Schneid, on the Schneid. How does that work?
That was Sunday.
No, he had two home runs Saturday night.
No,
it was part of the five run barrage.
It was
Vargas. I'm
looking at the box score right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Vargas, Monty, and Benintendi.
They had 5?
No, that was it.
Are you looking at Sunday or Saturday?
Oh my God, you're right. And then and Mooney had 2.
Man, that freaked me out. I'm like, wait a minute. I wrote this
sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, so we'll edit that out.
Well, let's start over. Okay, go ahead.
No,
dude.
It's quite all right. So that was a bad matchup, obviously, with Davis. I mean, I didn't think the Cubs would give up 5 home runs and get blown out that way. But even the series, there's some weird shit that happened in that game. The ump got
the liner off the chin.
Yeah, I thought he broke his jaw. I guess it was just concussion symptoms that he had to leave the game. During that is when the Green Bay sucks chant went off, which was hilarious. I always listen to Spiegel and Holmes, or Holmes and Spiegel, whatever it's called, on the Score, and they were like on Friday, like trying to get their audience to start the Green Bay sucks chant going, and it actually happened on Saturday during that delay for the ump getting hurt. That was just a weird scenario. But then the power went out at one point. Did you? I missed that. I don't know what I was doing.
Too.
But the power went out during, like, I think PCA was up to bat, and like all the lights went out. It looked like, when the new LED lights, especially when you win a game, or if it's a night game, how they start flashing.
Yeah,
it just gets dark and light, because it wasn't all the power. It was like I don't know. They just showed PCA kind of, and there's like flickering lights all around. He was like kind of freaked out, which I can kind of see why that could be a freaky situation for the players in the field with, 35,000, 40,000 raucous people all lubed up drinking all day. All of a sudden the power goes out. It's like, what do we like need to go into the dugouts for our own safety? Like in case things get out of hand. I don't know. It was brief. I didn't see how long it actually was, but it was resolved. But have you ever been to a game where the power went out? Like what's going on over there?
Was I there? I want to say I was at one game, I swear, where the lights
years ago,
not like 2 or 3 only. And we were like, the game was going, and all of a sudden, boom, all the overhead lights, the main lights to light the field went off. And I think that was the next year is when they switched to the LED lights.
I was going to ask that because it used to be a big problem because it takes like 10 minutes for the old lights to heat back up.
And that was
where LEDs are instant. So
yeah. And luckily, like there was, the lights on the concourse were still on.
Okay.
And there's like some sort of,
they probably have an emergency generator
emergency lights
just for like concourse safety. But like I could see how the main lights wouldn't be part of that. But
yeah. So anyway, I do recall that a game delay was like about 5 minutes because those other lights have to heat back up, kind of like you were saying. It's like the bulb has to charge almost because of the older technology.
The incandescent bulbs or whatever they used to be that everybody got rid of a couple years ago. Yeah, I was wondering if the LEDs, maybe the new wiring was causing issues or something. But
I just wonder if someone hit the button and they started like.
Oh, it's a little suspicious. A little suspicious when PCA's up to bat, just to kind of freak him out. Well, he's not popular down there. We've seen.
Well,
multiple occasions.
Well, we've seen on social media as of this series with the.
We'll get to that.
And he took the bait too. I'm shocked.
He did.
I'm not shocked actually, but
no, I didn't see a ton of fights. There was at least one fight in the stands. I was just checking social media. I'm not sure how much of it was actually covered on the broadcast, but there was a fight or two. There was one fight in the parking lot, and that was like socks on socks violence.
Yeah, I've seen
a couple ladies.
Yeah, the ladies
shit at each other.
I know. What is up? The ladies, and then I'm on social media. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I feel like I forget what the one handle is on the gram. Chicago something or other. They just cover like a bunch of Chicago history and restaurants and stuff. I feel like they were posting old fights, so I couldn't really make out what was new fights and old fights.
That's a classic tactic, just to post old shit and say it just happened. But
yeah,
I saw that in multiple places, so maybe it just got reposted. But maybe,
I hope though the one fight I saw was from this year, whatever year it was from. The Sox fan with the name on the back of the jersey of G Money was just the bomb, I gotta say.
G Money.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh shit, of course it's going down with G Money in the house.
Well, that win for your White Sox put the all-time series between the Cubs and White Sox, including the 1906 World Series, tied at 80-80, which is just crazy to think about. Like, they've been playing the Crosstown series since 97. I think that was whenever interleague play came in.
Yeah, that's when it actually counted. They used to play that stupid exhibition. I mean,
I don't count those.
That was the biggest waste of fucking time. And in case
I don't know if I even saw them.
I just want to cover this real quick in case anyone forgot about this, or doesn't even know about this. But there was a Crosstown Classic that existed before interleague play that the Sox would play the Cubs in the middle not in the middle, at some point in the season. 1 year at Wrigley, 1 year at Comiskey, and it wouldn't count. It would be an exhibition game, and basically
in the middle of the season. I didn't remember that.
Yes, and basically no starters would play, and they might even call up like a bunch of AAA guys, both teams, for like a fucking day.
Yeah,
it was horrible. And every now and then, though, one of the teams would march out. like they'd be like, oh shit, they put all their starters in just to rub it in. And depending on how each team's season was going, but like, you take a 84 Cubs team, they didn't play any starters that year. They're not going to risk a playoff. And the Sox
just a bullshit promotion, like
and the Sox in '83 didn't play like any start. So it's like,
do you remember what years that existed? Like, do you have any idea? Like,
I'm pretty sure it existed from like the early 70s all the way right up to almost interleague play.
Wow. Well, like I said, I didn't become a diehard Cubs fan until the late 90s, so I missed most of that, thankfully. That sends us to. I just thought that was amazing that we go into Sunday's game with both teams having the exact same number of wins against each other after all these years, 30 years of this shit.
Right.
Going into Sunday, the rubber match, high stakes, the first day game of the series. That didn't stop anybody from tailgating, drinking, getting their drink on early. That was not an issue. Unbeknownst to any fans at the time, it was revealed that a practical joke had been played on the Cubs radio broadcast booth. I'm sure you did not hear about this unless you were listening to the Cubs broadcast or maybe it was talked about on Sports Talk Radio today. But there was a practical joke involving. It's weird because it's Zach Zaidman, who's the backup Cubs play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
After Pat. About 35 minutes before the game started, which is exactly when the pregame show starts, Zaidman said there was a knock on the radio booth door and an enormous Chicago Police Department lieutenant or sergeant came in and asked if he was Zach Zaidman. And he said, yes. And then the officer asked for his phone to confirm that it was him or there was some information. That kind of freaked Zaidman out. I was like, well, all of it's freaky, but do you have a right to look at my phone? Like, I don't think he's been arrested often or has been in this situation. Like, what do you think? Like, somebody just comes in and asks for your phone. It's like, what the hell did I do? What's going on? It escalated from there, though. The sergeant took his phone, immediately put him up against the wall and handcuffed him. He was handcuffed 35 minutes before the game started and was taken out of the Cubs radio booth, marched down the hall to a place you're very familiar with, the White Sox radio booth. Didn't you see your buddy Len Casper and DJ one time?
I have.
Was that in the radio booth?
Yes, it was in the radio booth, and I text with Len sometimes still. Yeah, so
it's your boy.
My boy.
Did he text you about this prank that he had just successfully pulled on the Cubs radio broadcast as they brought Zaidman into the White Sox radio booth and just eruption and laughter because it was all planned by Len Casper.
That is awesome.
Nobody had any idea. Like Ron Coomer didn't know what the fuck was going on. I would have never thought of that happening, but I didn't realize how devious Len Casper was. He seems like a very mild-mannered, quiet guy, normal, nice guy, but apparently he's got a very devious mind to come up with that elaborate of a scheme that would really, that'd be terrifying for the minute 30 seconds that it was, you had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I like it. I might do that to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Send somebody 250 miles away here to mid-Michigan. If you pull that off, I'll give you. I'll doff my cap to you.
Very good then.
Well played, sir. So of course now the Cubs radio booth will be plotting how they can get Len and DJ back when the series does return eventually to Wrigley Field this summer. I haven't looked up when that is actually.
I think it's like later, like in August, isn't it?
Is it that late?
I swear, I think it might be. I don't know. There's always one thing we're not well prepared to answer on this podcast.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually, but that was not as entertaining as that story was to start before the game even started. That paled in comparison to how incredible and exciting this game was and how many crazy things happened in a 2.5-3 hour span.
Or maybe how much crazy stuff happened within like a 20-minute span.
Well, yeah. The Cubs got out to a lead. Colin Ray was solid. That's all I ever ask out of Colin Ray, is he's a kind of an emergency fifth starter. They've been dealing with so many injuries. But Eric Fetty has not been great for you guys, and I kind of thought the Cubs might tee off on him, and they kind of did. They had 4 runs. I think he got chased in the 3rd or 4th.
Well, I think it was in the start of the 4th. He got a total of, he has 3 innings on the books, but it was at the start of the 4th, because I think he left I remember exactly what happened. He left the first 2 batters on in the 4th, and Will's like, that's it. I'll take my chances with the bullpen. It's not gonna get any worse.
Yeah. Well, that was a good move, because the Cubs just routinely, just too often, are leaving runners on base, especially in scoring position. That was a big stat. They had, at least on, was it Friday alone? They had 15, or maybe it was a series. I forget now. Sorry. They were 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position. I think that was Sunday alone, which is just nuts. But they also lead the majors in getting people in scoring position. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. They get the players there. They're not good enough with power or just clutch hitting. But eventually, later in that fateful 4th inning, your boy Miguel Vargas hit what looked like potentially a home run, but it looked like an easy double off the wall. But out of nowhere, as he is wont to do, as we've seen many times, including many times in this series, PCA just almost made what would have been one of the most historic, spectacular catches in crosstown history. But it's almost like he overran it. I've looked at the replay a bunch of times for a bunch of different reasons, but the ball almost was like behind his glove. He got to the wall and got past it. I kind of can't believe he didn't catch it the way he got, where he was, where his glove was by the time he actually got there. I thought there was, in fact, StatCast said there was 0% chance that anyone would catch that ball. But I think he should have caught that. Again, it would have been, the most crazy highlight, but he was there. I think he kind of hit the wall, and that may have like jarred his vision or whatever. That was a ball that any center fielder shouldn't have been at. It was hit to the right center, mostly towards right, and should have been Seiya Suzuki's ball, but he was nowhere in the picture. He was going to be backing it up, which was fortunate he did. But PCA crashed into the wall. The ball goes bouncing. I think you tied. I know it was a double for Vargas. I think you tied the game on that. Fortunately, Suzuki was there to throw it in, so it was limited to a double, but that could have been inside the Parker. But that wasn't. Go ahead.
I think we took the lead on it at that point, right?
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Or it doesn't matter. We tied the game. Yeah, that's right. The 2 runs scored, and then it was 4-4. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So PCA was kind of sitting on the warning track after colliding with the wall. I didn't know if he had a head injury or what was going on. He confirmed that he was not injured or concussed or dazed or anything from hitting the wall. He was just literally processing the idea that he missed that ball. He was sure he was going to catch it, but he fucked it up, which is unfortunate for many reasons. But that moment, a White Sox fan they call it, what is that area called? We used to call it the bullpen bar.
The Miller Lite Landing, or
that's what it used to be called. It's got a new name now, but anyway, that is a really, really fucking cool area that the White Sox built. I mean, this is 20 years ago they started that, where fans can get right up against the fence. You can have
the beer cave. I think it is now.
It's probably changed.
Whatever. We'll just call it the beer.
Minutia. You got to get past this minutia. The nuts and bolts of this story. It's the idea is it's not a wall; it's a fence where the fans can sit right behind the chain link fence, and you're right eye to eye with the players, which is just amazing. In fact, you and I, including Ed Petro, and I forget who the 4th of our group was there, where we had that picnic table right up against the fence and watched. That was Cub Sox.
That was Summer Shandy Day, the first time we ever had.
Shandy. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Jesus. Yeah, there's a reason you forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. I learned about the beauties. That was probably the last time I ever had a Summer Shandy, because there was a lot of them. But it was a super hot day. We were in the sun all day. Shandies were the perfect thing for that day.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. We had that picnic table, and like literally I could touch the fence. If I put my hand through the fence, I could shake hands with whoever your right fielder was at the time.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I think they've either expanded that since then or they've modified it. Because now it looks like it's below field level. It's not that your feet are at the same level as the morning track there.
That's if you're in that area where you get the pregame picnic. And then
this is the area in question. And so that is a little bit different than what I'm talking about. So I don't know how you get into that, but apparently there was an engagement party, a private party that had rented out that space as this is like what they refer to as a mixed couple. A Cubs fan is marrying a Sox fan. And apparently the White Sox fan, the bride to be, had planned this all along. She was actually interviewed by the Sun Times, and she said that she planned this engagement party specifically to use this venue because she wanted to talk shit to PCA. She was like ready to talk shit.
I respect that.
Yeah, I mean that's some foresight right there. That her whole idea. She's not concerned about getting married. She just wants to talk shit about PCA. And if you look at the footage, she is actually surrounded by Cubs fans. It's her. It's revealed that it's her. I think at least one or two brothers and her fiance. They're all wearing like Sosa jerseys, or they're all in Cubs gear. She was not in like necessarily Sox gear. It's Callahan just got here. He's throwing shit around my kitchen. I can hear. But it was clear she was a White Sox fan. What's going on? Nothing. Oh, here he comes. Fuck. It's our obligatory Callahan cameo.
I'd have him come dressed as a cop because that would be easy. But I think you'd pick up on it.
Yeah, I'd figure that out.
I'm telling you, he really should be in Aladdin 2 live action. He could be the genie.
He can't hear you, but I'll pass that along.
I know. I'll pass that along.
But the bride-to-be's evil plot actually was working perfectly as PCA had this almost amazing catch right in front of them. Actually, if you look at the footage, she's not in the frame where he hits the wall and then is eventually just sitting there. But you can see her running over about 20 feet to get in front of him, which she was ready to talk her shit. It worked so well that it is now gone viral that she's being interviewed by the Sun Times. It is making PCA look terrible because he used some bad words towards the bride to be, and it's unfortunate. What's weird is it's either her brother or the fiance or somebody standing right next to her was ready for this because they put the footage that they were recording on their phone on social media, and you can see she says, "You suck." And then he replies with, "You can fucking suck my dick, bitch," which is kind of a nuclear reaction, but you kind of understand it. Not understand it, but at least it makes some sense because it was such an emotionally charged moment. He's sitting there. He sees this lady run over just to talk shit to him. What I find interesting is in the footage, you can see her starting in the game footage, not the cell phone that was leaked. In the game footage, you can see her while he's sitting on the ground. She runs up and starts yelling at him, says something, and then he starts to get up. And that's when the cell phone coverage starts. They cleverly edited out whatever she first said to him to begin with. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying that be careful with anything from social media because you don't get the full context. And it's clear she said something before, "You suck," and then he had his violent retort, which is caught on social media. He's since he regrets it. He was interviewed after the game about it. He's like, "Yeah, some fan was talking shit to me, and I talked shit back."
Yep.
And he's been more remorseful since then. He's like, "This is a terrible look," because he wants kids to look up to him, but he's like, they're gonna go on social media and find it, I'm sure. So he apologized about it, but it just as emotionally charged the situation was or anything. It's just players cannot win if they respond in any way, and he responded in the worst way. I mean, at least he wasn't doing any violent gestures towards his crotch or anything like that, which would have been caught on TV. But it was a bad look. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think you and I have heard much worse things. I'm not sure if we've said much worse things to players or had players say that back to us. I think we've probably gotten players to respond, but never to that level. And it was before we were recording everything with our cell phones just to go viral. But I don't know if you ever been in a situation, anything like that.
No, I think most players, I mean, I think you're right in that he was annoyed because he thought he should have caught the ball, and he's young. Young, and you have to, but you just have to keep a level head in these situations because most of these players, and I think this is really the first year this series has ramped up again, and these guys are all new to it, right? Yeah. Everyone in this situation on the White Sox side,
yeah, for sure,
and the Cubs side, and the White Sox players are going to hear some shit when they get to Wrigley now, because there's going to be revenge seeking,
for sure,
and they're all young. Everyone, like most people are, the Sox are like the second youngest team or the first, one or two in baseball, and you just got to keep a level head. Now the veterans who had done it, they got shit all the time, and they would always laugh about it and whatever. Like Ozzy. I mean, Ozzy's the fucking funniest dude about the whole situation. What did he buy? He bought the Ozzy Mows Your Lawn.
Ozzy Mows Wrigley Field.
Yeah. But like
he's the best.
While I don't love PCA, I think
no,
he thinks too much of himself, and he hasn't earned that right yet.
Correct.
At the same time, his age, I probably would have done the same thing. I'm going to be honest. The problem is he's probably going to get fined now by baseball.
There's been talk about that today on Chicago Sports Talk Radio, and I could see a fine, but if there's no reason suspension,
no, that's a little much.
That would be insane, and that would have to be appealed because this was not on the typical broadcast. There was no. That's why I mentioned there's no obscene gestures from him. He didn't flip her off. He didn't grab his crotch or anything like that. He said some mean words that were not captured on the broadcast. This is all. The only reason we know this is because someone in that engagement party recorded it and put it out on social media. So
you know what's even crazier about it? If it's one of the brothers who were Cubs fans, why would they even record it and put it out and get their own player in trouble?
It's hard to say. I think it's hard to say. I mean, unless they're really into just going viral. That's just how the new generation is.
I guess it is.
Whatever the cost, they're ready for it. I brought up the venue specifically because that I think is a factor in this, because as PCA's sitting on the warning track there, she's at eye level with him. Like,
it's like you're in someone's face.
Yeah, it's literally like two, maybe 4 feet away through a chain link fence. So it is not a typical. That's not a typical ballpark situation. That's what's so cool about that venue. But it's also what's so unique about it that I don't think could even be recreated at Wrigley. You're just never going to be that close or eye to eye in that situation. He was definitely feeling vulnerable at that moment. That may have also led to the escalation. But
a little history for you about that whole concept. Like Bill Veeck actually created that concept at Old Comiskey.
Oh, was it there?
It used to be in left field, and it was just it was a spot to get concessions. And
wasn't seating necessarily?
No, there were some picnic tables set up right by a chain link fence was like 2 sections that you could sit if you went down there, bought some food, you could go sit down and watch the view at
so it wasn't a ticketed area. It was just a place.
No, not back then. No, it was just a place to get concessions. And when that was like, for me, when I was a kid and we would do that, every now and then I'd be to my dad. I'm like, hey, can we go down there and sit there for a couple innings? And, it's not at times. And I think this from sitting, well, actually it was a little bit different because you were actually under the seats. So you had part of the field cut off. The new version, you can kind of see the whole field, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, that's why you and I went there on multiple occasions just because it was such a cool place to watch it. We'd even choose to go down there like halfway through a game. We'd have tickets wherever in the bleachers.
Yeah.
or on the outfield, and then just like, oh, they had it set up at a time where you could just go down to the bullpen bar or whatever they called it, and just all of a sudden have the best seats in the house. So it's a cool thing, but it's also, I want to point out how that's such a unique thing that I think that directly led to why this has become a story. That wasn't the end of things, though.
No, that was just the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, basically what it comes down to is both bullpens just got torched in this series, and the Cubs certainly weren't any better than the White Sox. And the game ended up being 9-8 after multiple home runs, multiple dramatic home runs, multiple home runs by people who haven't hit home runs before, including a guy who I had to look up. I had no idea who he was. Tristan Peters hit the go-ahead home run in the 8th, I think.
Yeah, bottom of the 8th, 3-run homer.
Tristan
Savannah
Peters.
Banana.
Yeah, that's where he came from. He's a former Savannah Banana, which is just amazing. I think he's the only one that's graduated to the major leagues, hasn't he? I haven't heard about that anywhere else.
Well, I think so here's the deal. He was drafted by the Brewers.
Okay.
A few years back. And he went last year. Was it last year or whatever? Like a few years back, he played for the Savannah Bananas and then got back into Major League Baseball. And
so did he flame out in the Brewers organization, and then he just got better playing with the Bananas? Like that's the story. That's part of the story I don't fully understand.
No, he played for the Bananas summer of 2021, and then he got drafted by the Brewers in 21. And then kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like he was a banana like last year.
I thought he was a banana last year, and then all of a sudden was this amazing player for you guys.
No, and then the Sox picked him up, and he was in their minor league organization for a couple years, and now he's here, hitting a 3-run homer in probably the biggest series of the year so far. So,
yeah. Well, not to be outdone, the Cubs came up in the top of the 9th. And got their own 3-run homer from Michael Conforto.
Off of Sir Anthony Dominguez. Yes. Yeah.
Well, before that, I forgot to mention that Miguel Vargas had a terrible throwing error that actually led to that, getting the second guy on just before that home run. He had seemed like a fairly routine play at third base, and he bounced the ball like 5 times to first base, and Mooney couldn't grab it. That should have been the second out of the inning, but that led to Conforto coming up and hitting the 3-run homer, which was just for having a 3-run homer to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th, and then the Cubs to tie it back up within a mere matter of minutes. It's just crazy.
I have to question how many Sox fans truly cursed the Conforto home run, because I don't remember a few years back, all White Sox social media, when Conforto had been out for a few years and was coming back from that injury, and he held that like tryout for major league teams to watch him. Everyone wanted Conforto on the White Sox. So I mean, yeah. I bet
he seems it seems like a move they would have made too, actually.
I know.
More than the Cubs picking him up.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago, and then he was what was he?
Yeah, I remember that.
Was he on the Giants for a couple years?
With the Giants for a while. He was with the Mets. I don't remember the timeline, but he was with the Dodgers last year, and it was terrible.
Yeah,
but
so
a championship.
He's been okay with the Cubs though. So
far. Yeah, he's been great. Well, that of course led to extra innings. Cubs actually take the lead, but they should have scored more than 1 run. As they again struggle to hit with runners in scoring position, but they did take the lead into the bottom of the 10th, and that's when things went crazy.
Well, I mean, sometimes a Savannah Banana gives you the lead, and sometimes a $157 struggling all year to the point of desperation of calling his original hitting instructor, who's been up here since last week Wednesday. That's Edgar Caro.
I love how you always bury the name.
Well, I just
10 minutes into your story.
Most people know, but Caro has been struggling after being such a huge part of the White Sox last year, and it's been disappointing to see. But if he if he chose the right time to get his first home run of the year, this was definitely it.
That was the right time. You almost canceled your daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
Bedlam. I'm sure your house was up for grabs. What was the scene like?
It was like this. It was my brother, Charlie, my son, myself, Robin, my mom, who's a Cubs fan, which is funny.
I know all those people. I never met your mom in all these years. I've never met her.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know she was a Cubs fan.
Yeah, she's got that mark against her, and
that's why I haven't met her. You didn't want us to know each other.
And Margot, and then all of a sudden, we're clapping. We're in we're a positive situation here, and Carroll comes up to the plate, and you hear the crack of the bat, and you look at the Cubs outfielders.
It was obvious, yeah.
And you're just like, oh my god, and then part of you's thinking, there's no way it's gonna just come up right short, and PCA, that fucker's gonna jump over the wall and make a catch in right center field. But the part of the video I can't get over is like it lands right in front of the most upset looking Cubs fan.
Oh no.
You could not have hit the home run in a more proper spot. He just looks so
I love that you think that's the perfect way. It wouldn't be to a joyous White Sox fan. It's just
no, you gotta shove it right up their ass.
That makes perfect sense.
Full fist, baby.
Jesus.
Right up their ass.
All right, easy.
Anyway, and bedlam ensues. The White Sox win it. They take the series at home, which has been I feel like a rare occasion.
Yeah. Honestly, my reaction is typically just disgust and anger and like dread to have to hear all the text messages from you. I didn't even care. That game was so fucking awesome, and everything about that series was so entertaining. It's just like, shit. I mean, you guys win it. Congrats. Like, what can you do? I wasn't even pissed. I'm still like happy that we got to see that series. That was so much fucking fun. Again, it just illustrates how Chicago is the best baseball town in America. It was awesome in every way. So congratulations. I am happy for you. I would like to be pissed about it. I'm just not. I can't be pissed over watching such a fun fucking series. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and you need some fun over there because the hat you're wearing is in turmoil right now.
You know what? I'm not even talking about the Tigers this week. We'll talk about the Tigers next week.
Okay.
I just want to focus on this series.
All right.
And the joy of Chicago baseball right now. I mean, the way things are being celebrated on the South Side, it's like you won the World Series. It's like you swept the Cubs 10-0 in every game. This series was crazy. Like, it ended up being, I think the White Sox outscored the Cubs by 1 run. Like, literally, that's how it was. There were 14 runs a game. 14 runs scored in each game, essentially, by average. Cubs averaged 7 runs a game. You averaged 7.3 runs a game. It's just as close as it could be, but it's just that you guys have moved light years ahead of where you were last year alone. It is a 100% competitive series now. It could have gone either way, but it was so much fun. I hope we are treated to a similar situation at Wrigley that could go either way again.
Yeah, I think it will be that way. I think the Sox. I think hearing an interview from Will Venable, the reason the Sox are where they are is he just says he tells his players to be themselves, and I think that's a huge change in the White Sox organization. I think there were a lot of managers since Ozzie Guillen who wanted things done a certain way and presented this like, if you're on the White Sox, you need to do A, B, and C if you're going to be a White Sox, as if there's some, like we were the Yankees or something, like we have some precedent to even demand that. And I don't think we really do, because we're historically not a great, winning culture there. And Will's just like, be yourselves and go out and have fun. And it's working.
You also have a lot more talent on the field than you have had in at least in recent years, last 3 years at least, and more on the way in the system coming up.
Well, and Kyle Teal's coming back, and that's gonna.
Well, I don't think you heard the news though or I'm not sure if it's been confirmed, but he tweaked his knee Saturday night and should have been called up for this week. He was on the verge, and they're worried I think they're waiting for imaging on Tuesday, which is concerning considering this happened Saturday night. And I think they're waiting for the swelling to go down before they can actually get a good image of it in the MRI. So he's not coming back as soon as we thought. It was the last at bat on Saturday night. I guess his spike got caught in the dirt or something in an at bat.
So I did not
that's
hear that.
That's unfortunate news. Yeah, it's a bummer. But I haven't heard how long. Yeah, I think might just delay. Maybe it's just a week. He was supposed to be up this week. Maybe it's next week before he comes up. Hopefully it's not worse news than that. But yeah, that would solve some of your catching issues. Getting Teal back up. Of course, you don't have any issues anymore. Now you have Edward Cabrera. What?
Edgar.
Edgar. Yes. Caro.
Caro. Yes.
So yeah. You've got Brandon Montgomery on his way up. You've got, is it Hayden Smith? Who's your pitching prospect that's coming up soon?
Yep.
I think he might be called up this week. So you've got more on the way, more reasons to think positively.
There's no reason not to.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about from this momentous series? I've got one other piece of news I want to give you.
I mean, the only thing I'll say is the White Sox helped out the Brewers. The Brewers now only trail the Cubs by 1.5 games. And the way I see it, the Brewers will be in first place by Wednesday.
Yeah, the way you always see it. You see only brooms in your future. Sweep, 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 sweep. So yes, you are predicting another sweep as the Brewers come to Wrigley Field starting an hour maybe.
Yeah.
I'm recording this Monday night. So we'll have that to talk about. What they won't have at Wrigley Field after breaking news this morning is the DraftKings Sportsbook.
What?
The Sportsbook is closing at Wrigley Field. Did you ever go to that?
It looked awesome.
It's only 2 years old. Well, it will still be an awesome bar and restaurant.
Oh.
But the sports book itself, you cannot place bets there I'm not sure when they actually close, but they just announced today that the betting operation is shutting down at Wrigley Field.
I mean, did they get any? That's probably the problem.
It was basically taxed out of existence is what the story is between, Illinois' punitive and obsessive, taxing on gambling coupled with Chicago's similar taxing. It's not a good business model to have a sports book in the city of Chicago is what this amounts to after it closes in just 2 years. So I haven't lived there in 5 years, so I missed it. I've been by it and it looks great. I don't know if you ever went to a Cubs game there and checked it out. It'll still be there. We can check it out. But have you ever placed bets at a stadium sports book, or do you ever?
No,
I know you're a Fanatics guy. Is that the app you use?
Yeah, but I don't even understand why anyone would utilize it anyway, unless
a physical sports book area.
Unless they wanted to use cash, right? Because
this is exactly what I want to ask you.
Yeah, it's all on your phone. And it goes instantly into your bank account. It's there within less than 5 minutes. So it's not like there's any delay. It's like being at a sports book on your phone. So
maybe beyond the punitive taxation from both the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, maybe it's just a bad business. You just don't need a physical place because everyone can just do it right on their phone from wherever.
Yeah.
Now, there are geo limitations, like since your phone knows where you are at all times. Like you can't place bets on stuff out of state or in. I don't know how that all works.
The only issue ever really is college.
Okay.
You couldn't bet you can't bet Illinois or Northwestern or any of those teams. Yeah.
But if you were in the state of Michigan, you could bet on Illinois if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. I never understood any of that.
Because it goes all the way
weird about. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It goes all it all started when there was only sports books in Las Vegas. You could never bet on UNLV.
Right. So it's like antiquated laws that are still in the books that just haven't adjusted to what the technology really is.
Yeah, you have to use these really, because there's so many sports books and some real shady ones out there, and there's these ones from overseas that'll let you if you're that desperate to place a bet on Illinois, you could use
am I correct in assuming most of the ones most people have heard of? I don't give a fuck about gambling at all, but I've heard of FanDuel and Fanatics apps. Anyone that you've heard of, they basically all have the same thing, don't they? I know you get the Fanatics one because you get rewards points to get merch, since they have monopolized the sports merch industry, which is disgusting. But that can't last much longer. We've done a few segments about how bad Fanatics is, at least on the merchandise side or the uniform side. But other than that, they're all the same. You can do whatever crazy parlays you want or in game. It's not like there's different products. It's all basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so it's no one will be too sad that the DraftKings Sportsbook is no longer a sportsbook at Wrigley Field. It'll merely be just a kick-ass venue with like it's like 100-foot wide TV there.
Oh my God. It looks insane. It looks like being in a Vegas sportsbook. That's why I always wanted to go. Yeah.
Well, I think you and I should go there at some point. Actually, we can go there if we want. Yeah. When you and I attend the Tigers-Cubs game in late July this summer, maybe we can stop by there and not place a bet.
I mean, who will I root for in that game? Still undecided.
I'll be rooting for the Tigers. I will not be rooting for my Chicago Cubs. It's not a difficult decision, but the Tigers are not in a playoff contending position right now, and the Cubs certainly are. So I might have some conflicted feelings when we're there in late July. We'll see.
Yeah,
many things could change by then.
They could, but right now, when you look at the AL Central, it looks like it kind of should. So
White Sox are in second place, alone in second. You're only one game behind Cleveland, right?
One game behind Cleveland.
Wow, that's amazing. Your predictions that don't include brooms have been pretty good this year. So you should stick with that.
What? Oh yeah. I was like, what?
You don't even know. You don't know your own tendencies.
What are you saying?
Well, unless you have anything else to add, I think we can wrap up this bragging rights edition, episode number 188 of Enemy of My Enemy. Congratulations to you. Well deserved.
Are you going to say the same thing on the next podcast after the Brewers sweep the Cubs?
Yeah, this is rivalry. I can never say that. Rivalry week.
It is. It seems that way.
Cubs go right from the Sox series right into what's really a more meaningful series against your Brewers.
Brew Crew.
Nice product placement for those watching on YouTube. So it's going to be a fun week. We will be back. You and I have not discussed when we can pod once again, but we will certainly be talking about that series, which begins in like an hour. What a day. What a week. Hopefully that lives up to the same kind of hype that Cubs Sox did. So with that, we'll wrap up this episode. In the meantime, you can find us on the web at enemyball.com. You can find us on social media at EnemyBall. You can find our YouTube channel, which we got more subscribers this week.
Yeah, we're heating up.
Yeah, we're hitting a lull, and then we're kicking up again. So check out our YouTube page at youtube.com at EnemyBall. And you can find this podcast anywhere you'd like to find a podcast. So with that, I'm going to declare this podcast is over. Peace.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
One guy poured beer all over my head. The guy said, how can you take that? I said, look, that man didn't do nothing. He poured some beer on my head. He's just showing he's a White Sox fan. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sparky, a million thanks for, as always, the most interesting interview. And now today, let's just have a lot of thrilling baseball and not so many fisticuffs.
We're at home